All right. Okay, good. Mark Salent, I think you're on it. Looks
Yep.
good. Looks good, man. Hey, Mark, welcome back. Where have you been, young man?
It's been a lot of scheduling jobs on the Sunday. And, you know, I don't want to schedule stuff on Sunday, but if it comes out and you need to make money, get the job done, you got
Oh,
to do that, you
you
know?
you
It's like it's a
business
business or something. It's
you
weird.
business owners and full-time jobbers. What's going on? Okay, let's kick it off. I don't like being late, but we are. We're 2 minutes late. I'm gonna get started. Let's see if there's anybody else that got on the phone. Um, we probably got some stragglers, but we'll go ahead and kick it off. I think this is our sixth or seventh. I've lost track, but regardless, I really appreciate everybody getting together. It was a short week, but I think we compressed a lot of work into it. At least I did. I know Mason did. Holy smokes, that was a lot of work, Mason.
Yeah, it was.
Good stuff, man. But yeah, just to remind everybody, we are here to build the community. We got such a great community thus far. I mean, we've accomplished so much. I'm like so proud and like just beside myself that we've done all this work together. Also want to talk about some growth strategies that's on the agenda for today. And as always, share knowledge. We're not, we might be competitors in certain regions, but we definitely, share knowledge and experience and help each other. So just keep that in mind. I like to start it off with a quote. This is Tony Hsieh. He's the CEO and founder of Zappos. He says, "Surround yourself with the right people." And there's actually this whole article. It would behoove you to read this article. Just kind of just talk. Let's just read through the top 5 things that he talks about. So for me, like surrounding myself with the right people, like I feed off that energy. I think most people do. And Low Voltage Nation has become like my like lifeblood of keeping myself motivated. Figuring out stuff in the field just on a daily basis. It's just like it's so incredibly impactful. What we've put together here. For me, especially. Housekeeping items. I've pressed record, so the meeting's going to be recorded and put on YouTube for later viewing and listening. Keep your phones on mute. Also, the Slack channel. I think I've got a DM open right now. Probably not a good thing. So the Slack channel, the ambassador group. Just put questions in there if you need to. And then I got some organizers. I'm going to kind of kick it over to Mark at some point. Mark Salent. He's got a little thing he wants to talk about. Let's see here. What was that thing? It was called the LVN web interview. Is that what it's called, Mark?
Yeah, we can call it that. Why not?
Yeah. If you could dig up the document.
Yeah, I know. I need to find that.
Yeah, I know. Just search for it and try and drop it into the agenda. Okay. And then, all right. So Marco, what's the deal on the shirts?
So I updated all the logos. I believe we have everything. I added the group by link in there, and we can essentially, everyone can put their orders through on their own, pay on their own. Everything can be shipped direct to whoever wants to order them. The only thing I want to double check is I want to see if I can have the designers at Custom Ink just make sure that everything looks okay as far as how it's going to print. Because I think 1 or 2 logos has some background that I couldn't remove. But other than that, they're ready to go.
Cool. Wait, so they give you like some guidance on like how to make it look good at Custom Ink?
Well, what they'll do is they obviously have their guys or their team that will go through it to make sure that the quality is there, the resolution's accurate and that everything is leveled, because I can only do it so much, and of course we would want everything to be balanced out and on the same plane, so to speak. So they'll run through that before they print them.
Cool. Rock and roll. All right. So previous action items. Make sure you guys are following all the ambassadors, especially on LinkedIn. That's a big topic of discussion for me. I spent a lot of time on there, been getting a lot of good engagement. So follow people on LinkedIn and especially Instagram, and just keep engaging with everybody. Interact with the ambassadors, and just keep marching down that path of supporting each other on social media, because that amplifies our message and gets us more exposure, gets us more business, and promotes the core values of Low Voltage Nation. So keep doing that on social media. All right, so I'm going to jump right into the agenda. I want to talk about what we got going on for some growth strategies, some pretty cool stuff, actually. We've been really pushing Gold Standard. I know that Marco's been doing it, Mason, Brandon as well. I think somebody just joined. Hold on a second. We got a few more people. Okay, so Mick joined, and then who else joined? John Laurie joined, and then somebody with a 901 area code. Who's that? Who's the 901 area code? Anybody? Hello?
Christina.
Oh, Christina.
What's up,
Welcome.
guys?
So Christina just joined the team. I've known her. She lives in Nashville, and she's helping me organize the first meetup. We'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But she's been really awesome at locking down, or potentially locking down, one of the hotels downtown Nashville for the first meetup. So everybody, welcome. I think this is our first female. Actually, no, we've had another female, but this is one of our first females. It's such a male-dominated field, but it's good to have a little balance here and there. So thank you, Christina, for joining.
Thank you for the invite.
Yep. Let me get so it's Christina Baker, and then Mick Andrews. What's up, Mick? You there?
Yeah, Blake, how are you, mate?
Good.
Hopefully I'm sounding a bit better this week.
Good morning. What is it, 4 a.m. in Melbourne?
Not quite, mate, but just before 7 a.m. So,
okay, that's not too bad. Cool.
Well, that's commitment.
It is, man. Well, we pushed it up an hour for Mick, so he has to attend.
I have to, mate. I have to start attending. Yeah, you've changed it around for me, so thanks, mate.
Yeah. But we abandoned our Bangalore audience, so it's a little too late for them. So I want to talk about the gold standard, just kind of kick it back over. I want to actually look at something that Mason has done. He just posted this recently. Mason, can you talk about this real quick? Because this looks amazing, by the way. And just
thanks, man.
Give a brief rundown as to how this in your mind meets the gold standard, and what you accomplished here.
Well, so there's other things that I'm going to be posting probably tomorrow. But it's clean. It's done correctly in my mind. It would be, and it's kind of it's good from A to Z in my opinion. There's nothing that we skimped on or didn't do right, and I think myself, and I would hope everyone else agrees, that if you do a job like this is the quote unquote one of the right ways to do it. So
yeah. Totally agree, man. This is top notch. Does the customer appreciate it and understand how much work you put into it?
I don't think he does, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, they go, yeah, it looks good, and they're happy with it. But the amount of money that this guy has paid versus how much I should have charged him is two totally separate different things. And I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think they will appreciate it once they see. He does follow me, so he's gonna see your comment.
Okay,
nice.
Okay, good. Yeah, that was kind of unintended, but probably in the
I'm
back of
so
my mind,
glad you said that, because I'm like, I hope he sees that.
Because I said, what did I say? I hope the customer realizes how awesome this is.
I was like, thank you, Blake.
Oh man, I love it. See, that's why we do this, man. That's why we meet and engage and help each other. Because I was afraid you probably didn't charge them enough.
I didn't.
I didn't
but it was our first Cat 6A project, and there was a lot of firsts in this project. So
sure.
he was able to. We took a little bit of a hit on it. We learned a lot during that project, and so I'll probably end up charging about $30,000 more than what I did. So
right on.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna clap it up. Everybody, clap it up for Mason Bortz.
Thanks.
I don't hear anybody clapping because they're on mute. There we go. Yes. Good job, man. That's awesome. There we go. Good stuff. So, kind of just piggybacking off the gold standard. So I did start this document, and I'm going to share it out to people to contribute to. It's kind of an idea of what the mission is around the gold standard. Establish a comprehensive framework and set of guidelines on how to properly install, integrate, and secure technology infrastructure. So that's just kind of just it's an idea I had. It's a collaborative document. You can go in there and edit it, add some stuff to it. I know that I don't think Brandon's on the call today, but Brandon did some VoIP stuff.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Okay, cool. What's up, man?
Hey.
So yeah, you added some VoIP vendors. So we're just kind of just brainstorming on how we're gonna work on this document and add vendors, maybe pictures of stuff of how we think it should be installed, but it's kind of a running document. And if you have any ideas, want to drop it in there, just let me know. So thank you, Brandon, for putting that in there.
No problem.
And one of the things I wanted to also mention is the MSP side of things. So actually, Brandon and we had a really good podcast a couple of days ago, and we talked about the technology and software stack of an MSP and what we think is a good approach to servicing customers, from the ticketing, the RMM, PSA, and the security side of things. So like, what is that full stack of software that an MSP absolutely needs to have to get the job done, and also like service our customers from a security standpoint as well. So if you have any thoughts about what software you use, and you think if you own an MSP or you work with an MSP, please reach out to us, because we're doing a recurring podcast, Brandon and I, around MSPs and some VoIP stuff as well. So that's coming down the pipeline. And Brandon, you're super pumped about that, aren't you?
I am extremely pumped.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I like getting people excited about this. A ticketing system. It's the best thing ever.
It's
Cool.
Getting your customers to put tickets in is the problem, though.
You don't reply. You don't say, just put a ticket in. It's like you sit down to their computer and you put it in for them and show them how to do it.
True.
You can never reply fast enough for them. That's for sure.
I just ignore the problem until it solves itself. That's my approach. Look at me now. Cool. So the LVN web interview. I love this idea. This is another great idea from Mark Salent. He's just like chock full of awesome stuff and contributions to the community. So Mark, did you find that document, that whole list of like questions?
Yeah, I did. So I dropped it down. It's at like the end of the document now. Because I don't really know what your order of operations are here. So it's like past the teacher and everything. So it says LVN web interview, and I just have a document, a link to the Google Doc here.
Cool. And
I made that anyone who has that link can edit it. So basically the idea is, we've obviously Blake is creating a lot of content and putting things out. And then we have the Mastermind. But this is a way of getting a little bit more in depth, especially with a fellow ambassador that you're interested in learning more about how they do things, how they operate, what they know. So basically you can send out an email, say, hey, you want to do an interview. We can do an interview back and forth or one way, whatever it is. And then you just come up with a list of questions that you want to know. Just different, there's different topics here, just generally how they're involved in LVN, business, career, access alarm, et cetera, and you just kind of can construct 10, 15 questions, however you want to do it, and then send them an email of those questions, and then they can answer that at their leisure. So it's kind of nice. It's not time bound. Whenever they have time, they can sit down, type it up, edit it, think over what they want to put on paper, and then ultimately you guys can figure out where you want to publish that article. You can publish it on I guess the future LVN blog. I think that's going to be rolling out. So you can publish that on the blog. You probably get a little bit more SEO juice if you put it out just on the blog, but you could also put it on your website, the other person's website, whatever you want to do. Not going to get into duplicate content and SEO. Figure it out. but I just think it's a great way for people to get really in depth with one specific person, because I've reached out to a number of people. We've had some great conversations, and it'd be nice to just kind of formalize it a little bit, and that way we get something that's mutually beneficial and beneficial to Low Voltage Nation.
Yeah. Do you have somebody in mind, like right off the bat, that we can kind of test it out with? Because I want to put some action around it after today and kind of roll it out. What's that?
We're gonna interview you.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're in the hot seat. You're not behind the cards with the interview anymore, man. We're gonna drill into your mind.
Come on, man. I'm just a connector, bro.
No, I think we talked about doing an interview with you. But I think it'd be cool.
I think it would be. I'm joking. Yeah, I would totally. Yeah. So, what do you want me to do? Just like fill this out and make a blog?
I'm going to use this. I just kind of put down, a number of different questions I think are general, just to give people an idea of ideas to springboard from. But I can pick and choose from here and craft some other questions. Maybe make 10 or 15 and send them your way.
Okay. So the action item is Mark will send out questions.
Yes.
I like this. This is awesome. Questions to Blake for first interview for blog. Yeah, we'll just because I'm working on the website right now. I'm just kind of getting some content together, kind of going back in the archives of the podcast and just drilling into all of the show notes and creating content off that, and then kind of like re-listening to stuff. Maybe listen to some pregame stuff. But the blog is happening. That's a 2020 goal for sure. This is a great way to kick it off. I love it.
Yeah, and I just think it's a great way for fellow ambassadors. I mean, hopefully, we're engaged as much as we can on social media and whatnot. But I think you can make that engagement on social media, and in the mastermind meetings more relevant if you have a little bit of a personal background with someone. You get that one time. I mean, you can set up a phone interview if you want, if someone wants to do that.
Sure.
You just got to type out afterwards and kind of, but as long as everyone agrees on the final draft, I kind of have a subheading here of purpose and process, and you can kind of tailor that process. But before something goes to print, just make sure both parties are cool with it. I think that's reasonable and obvious, but just to state the obvious.
Yeah, I think it's great. So we get it on the blog, and then we post it out to all of the social channels, and then people reshare it. I think there's a lot of power behind that, and that's a good way to present it to the person you're interviewing and say, hey, this is going to get published and people are going to share it out because we have this whole team of ambassadors on social media. It's a lot of exposure for that one particular person. I think it's great.
Sure.
Sweet. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Providing value every week, even when you're not here.
I'm sorry, man. 2 weeks in a row. I'm never going to forget it.
It's all good. Next order of business. We got the meetup. First one's going to be in Nashville. So it's meetup.com. Low Voltage Nation, I think it is. Let's see if that works. Control K. I think that's it. Oh, God. What am I doing? Forgive me. Boom. Oh, there it is. Oh, we have 11 members. Would you look at that? So if you want to attend meetups, not necessarily in Nashville, but I would love to have you guys here in Nashville if you want to travel. But the goal for this really is to have offline meetups, and then you can also host your own. So I'm going to build out the framework, and Christina, there's Christina right there. She's also on the phone, and she actually locked down Cambria Hotel. Well, Christina, it's pretty solid, right? It's a pretty done deal, you think, after we go?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid deal. I actually just got off the phone with her right before I jumped on.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit more detail on options and what's available. So it's just a matter of going there on Thursday, getting some content, and exploring a little bit and seeing where our options are. So I think it's going to be a good time.
I think, at the very least, we'll get some content and go up on the top floor and get some video and kind of show everybody how awesome downtown Nashville is.
Yes.
I think it's good. It's a great hotel. I've stayed here a couple times. It's great. It's got a rooftop. It's gonna be a little cold for the pool, but and I think some vertical cable is gonna be flying out potentially. I think that's pretty cool. So Mike, the marketing director, he's going to be providing us with some hardware, some racks, and he's got a bunch of good video equipment as well. He wants to get some content, so I think that'd be really cool if we can get some people to fly out. I think Marco's going to be joining us too. I don't know. We'll see. Marco, you need to drive one of your you need to drive one of your Teslas down. When's the new one coming?
That's gonna be a while, man. I think the Rivian's supposed to be out before that. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Cool. All right. So for LinkedIn, just to back up to the meetup, I'll keep everybody posted on dates by mid-January. But just keep an eye out and then go to meetup.com/low-voltage-nation if you want to sign up for it. And just let me know if you have any questions. LinkedIn is on fire as usual. I think we have 14 people that have put themselves as Low Voltage Nation ambassadors. And what that does is it gives you a lot of exposure in terms of when I tag you, when I post content, and also you'll show up a little bit higher when new content is posted, as well as people search for Low Voltage Nation. You'll pop up and see your smiling face and all your professional stuff on LinkedIn. So it's a little more professional than Instagram. You know, Instagram is like the main hub for a lot of our first engagements, but LinkedIn is also a really great way to boost up your profile. So if you haven't got on LinkedIn, Mason, please please get an account. And
yeah,
how's that coming, Mason?
It's coming great. I literally have thought about this every day since I told you I'd do it that one day.
I know, right?
Damn it, I know I need to do it.
That's so funny. Okay, we got a pretty big agenda here. I didn't realize it would be this much, but so tech tools wish list. We got a lot of people on the call, so it's going to probably take a while to do this, but I want to actually just kick it over to Mason real quick. You mentioned that you wanted to get a Fluke device, and what is that Fluke device, Mason?
It's an add-on for the DSX that I got. It's the
what's the model? What's the model?
You know, if Marco just has one laying around, I'd love it. You know, if he just it's a CFP
fair one.
It's a CFP-Q-add. It's a Certifiber Pro quad add-on kit.
Wait, CFP-Q-
add for adding more, giving more money to Fluke.
Yeah, right. How much is this thing? Oh, it's only 11 grand.
Yeah, it's only.
Okay, that's
but
feasible.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the guy at they were trying to sell me a whole fiber certification kit, and all I need are the add-on modules for it. And I got 2 quotes from 2 different vendors, and they both sent over a whole Certifiber kit. So that took like 4 different people to talk to get that model number. So anyways, if Marco has one laying around, man, I'm happy to pay for shipping on it.
Have to go dig through the mines.
The used parts bin.
He doesn't have one laying around. There's no way. $11,000 piece of equipment is laying around. I doubt it. Marco, what's on your wish list? I know you got to hop off here in a few minutes. What's on your wish list?
You know, I got to tell you, we're pretty well covered. You know, wish list, I'd probably like to upgrade our Fluke. I think we have a DSX, if I remember correct, which is one of the older models. But other than that, I mean, I just keep buying Milwaukee stuff. It's terrible. It's a problem. They come out with something new, and I'm like, I need it.
So anything Milwaukee, anything.
Yeah,
you see that?
It's brutal.
Do you have one of those all thread cutters?
I don't. I did see that too, and then they have that new right angle multi-tool, which is kind of interesting too. But
that all thread cutter, you should add that to your wish list. That thing's awesome.
It's a productive way to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mark Salent, what's on your wish list?
I mean, as far as tools, I think I'm pretty good. I know I've been talking to you about building a home network rack. So I think that's going to be on the wish list.
So you just need a rack or like the whole, like everything in it.
Everything.
Let's start with the rack.
Dude, the
That's
racks
a Christmas wish list right there, Mark.
the racks aren't that bad. I
What
mean,
are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the cheap eBay stuff. I'm not going crazy on it.
Gotcha. No CPI,
No. Nav point.
nav point.
All right,
For
so you
the
want
win.
you want a rack, and then what's going in the rack, real quick?
DIN rail mounted Raspberry Pis.
So you're doing the DIN rails, huh?
I'm doing it. Yeah, I got it.
You got it already. How many Raspberry Pis you putting in there?
I'm gonna start with 8.
What is this for again?
Just 8?
Can you bring me up to
Just
speed on this?
This is just for fun. This is for fun, playing around with networking, testing stuff, giggles.
So what? But you got to have a plan. I mean, you just bought 8 of them. I mean, what's the?
I didn't buy 8. 8 is my max. I have 2 sitting here right now that are
So
gonna
what
go.
are the? I mean,
Mark,
what are the 2?
you're as bad as me at buying servers and just throwing them in my rack for fun. Just
Yeah,
to
why
throw
not?
up Hyper-V.
Does no one care about their power bill except me here? Is that?
I'm not understanding the
Power
question.
schmower.
I mean, they have off switches. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not,
You don't turn them off. That's the whole point of it. You leave them on all the time.
I don't have to do
They're
that.
small 12-volt transformers. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Now, if I start running a dedicated circuit on my breaker for it, then that might get expensive, adding that. But
What else is going in the rack, Mark? Switches?
yeah, some switches, some Cisco stuff.
Did Mark Nagao send you some switches yet?
No, he didn't. He didn't
Gosh,
actually.
man. How do we get him to send you stuff, or you can just have mine?
I might have to, and then I'm gonna have to put like, donated by Blake on right on a sticker on it right on there.
We'll just put a low
Mark, I'm going to send you that NVR I have, and I'll send you one of those Ubiquiti, those little routers that I have. I'll get you that out this week, so you can add that in there. You're welcome.
So Marco and Mark, come to the meetup in Nashville, and you guys can just hand off that stuff. Sound good? All right, cool.
Done.
I got one of those new fast Ethernet switches you can have. It's fast.
Fast Ethernet.
Yeah, 100 meg.
Ooh.
Brandon Weber, what is on your tool wish list?
I would love to get a Net Ally G2 link runner.
Net Ally G2 link runner. What in low voltage nation is that?
It's basically an Android device that it was Fluke and then it was NetScout. Now it's Net Ally, but it's tests everything. So you plug it in the network and it'll spit back PoE voltage if it's on PoE. The port it's plugged into, the IP address that the link runner pulls. It'll test connectivity to the internet, tell you the exact port it's plugged into. So it's a powerful little system, and since it runs Android, you can tie it in with Android apps, and you can upload information from that test to a ticket and lots of different stuff.
Cool. Yeah. I've got something similar from Fluke.
Yeah, I have like the $400 link sprinter that
Yeah, I think that's what
sends
I have.
me the email.
Oh, okay.
But this is all on one screen plus a bunch of other stuff that you can get in it. And I mean, it's great when I'm trying to figure out VLANs and ports that I'm plugged into and all that type of stuff if I'm doing VLANs. So it's a great little tool.
Jacob, what's on your wish list? Jacob?
Sorry, man. Technical difficulties here.
You're fine, man.
I actually just ordered. We've had a huge need for a door coring tool on our locksmith and access side, and I actually just ordered one of those on Friday. And I went with a bullseye to where you can. It's actually pretty sweet. You can drill from both sides of the door, and it's got a mortising tool built into it. So that had been on my wish list for a while, and I went ahead and bought it just because we were in the need for it, and I've got a bunch of doors coming up that needs to do it, and tired of paying somebody else to do it. So that was that's not a light thing to get into. So it was pretty.
Yeah. If I can just interject, if you have any questions about jigs and stuff for drilling doors, just send me a message, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about some of the stuff that I've found that works for me and whatnot.
Mark, do you core doors?
I'm a locksmith. Oh yeah.
No, I'm not talking about boring them for lock. I'm talking about for from like hinge to the lock.
Oh, you're doing that stuff? Oh gosh.
Yeah, that stuff. When I'm talking, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm like the A1 jig isn't that expensive. I was like,
no.
Oh, you got that guy.
You know, yeah, we're locksmiths too, but we're not just drilling for locks. We're drilling for like the wire that goes from the transfer hinge all the way to the lock. So I went with the pretty nice one. It cost me about $1,000. So
yeah, A1 is really good stuff. They went out of business, so bought.
I've got about 6 of their jigs sitting in the office. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my latest and greatest that I went ahead and bought because we're gonna need to get into more of doing it. So
nice.
What's the make and model of it, Jacob?
It's a Bullseye, and it's BULS-I. Hang on, let me get the link. It's
dash. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they went out of business like maybe 6 or 8 months ago. So if you see any of their
A1, A1 went out. No. So Bullseye is completely different than A1. But yeah, I knew that A1 went out. So the door coring tool that I bought was, hang on, part number is 3P as in Paul, D as in David, H as in Hector, 300. So it goes on the door from, imagine just a big old piece of square tubing, gets clamped to the door from the hinge to the lock, and then it's got these 2 little heads on it that basically act as a drill guide for a 54-inch bit, 56-inch bit that will allow you to drill all the way through and run your 18.2 or your 18.4 or whatever you're going to run for door for lock power, or if you've got door status or request exit built into that lock, whatever you've got, more along the access side of things. So
cool.
It worked out well.
Sweet. Who's up? We got Raymond. Raymond, what's on your wish list for tools?
I want to find a fiber termination tool. Like I haven't really done fiber in a long time. I started off in networking at a university, and I haven't done it. Somehow I just landed into security only. So we're trying to ramp up voice and data cabling in 2020. So I want to find a good fiber splicing termination tool that if anybody recommends, I'd really appreciate.
Unicam is like the way to go. And don't get version 2, just get version 1. They're having a lot of engineering issues because the Unicam 2 kit was pushed by some VP. He had a bonus tied to when that kit was going to get released, so they are still behind on the engineering side of things on the Unicam 2 kit, and at least from Graybar they've stopped selling it, and Annixter they've stopped selling it. I'm sure you could pick it up at different places, but get the Unicam 1 kit, and if you buy it, you can request, especially from Graybar. I requested 50 connectors. I said I won't buy it unless you give me 50 connectors, and they gave me 50 free connectors, plus a guy came into training with me for about 4 or 5 hours on it. So that's the route I would go. I know Leviton and other companies make cheaper kits, but from me getting 50 connectors from it, that pretty much made it the same price as the Leviton and the free training. So I call it a win. Okay. You might pay a little bit more. I think our kit was like $1,400, but when you get the free connectors and the training, I mean, it's pretty much the same price as any other. And the tool itself is so much more robust and accurate than the other tools that I saw on the market. So
awesome. Thank you, Mason.
Yeah. Oh, hey, one thing to keep in mind on that as well. I guess a lot of people didn't know this. Corning guarantees every connector. So if you buy a Unicam connector, I haven't actually tried this, but this is what the Corning guy told me. If you terminate a connection and for whatever the reason you screw up the connector or the connector's bad, you can take it over to Gray Bar wherever you bought and they will give you brand new ones. So I think we have like 6 bad ones that I personally just didn't do right. And so I'm just going to take them into Gray Bar. And from what the Corning rep told me, they will just give me new ones and I get replacements for free. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
My sister works for Corning. So if you need any help with stuff like that, let me know.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Wait, who was that said their sister works for Corning?
Jacob.
It's me, Jacob.
Okay, Jacob. Okay, so Raymond's looking for fiber termination tools, and then Unicam. Mason, can you drop a link into the Slack channel?
Yeah. Yep.
Of that Unicam stuff you talked about. Thanks, man. Cool. All right. Raymond. Then Christina had to drop off. I think Christina, you still there? I think you're off, aren't you? Okay. Mick, what's on your wish list for tools?
Oh, geez. Tool-wise, there's a copper fault tool I really should have by now, but I've been dodging buying it because it's so expensive.
Right. What's it called?
It's just an all-in-one. It's by JDSU. So, look, it's probably something I should get, but I may not actually get. Yeah. But it would make life easier. Would make things a lot easier when we come across the more difficult faults where instead of lugging out 4 or 5 different test tools to pinpoint, where to locate the fault. This, I've seen guys use it, and it is very handy. But justify the price, I probably won't get one just yet. Not this Christmas.
Can you drop a link to the is it JDSU? Is that the product?
Yeah, that's the company that makes them, JDSU. But they've actually changed their name in the past year to Viatech, perhaps, or VIATEC. And I can definitely post the model number.
Yeah, post it in the Slack channel, the ambassador channel, just so we can take a look at it.
Sure.
Yeah, because whenever I run into a copper issue, I think of you. I'm like, Mick could probably figure this out. I can't.
No, definitely. Look, it would test for. Well, I mean, it's definitely used when for us guys chasing copper faults out in the network outside. But you could definitely use it for internal faults.
Cool.
There's a couple of it just has all the built-in features, the open circuit measurements, resistance measurements. It has ability. I think it has the ability to what the Sparkies use. That we call it a mega. I'm not sure. The thing that sends a lot of volts down the line to blow open any high resistance faults. But so it has quite a few features like that, which I haven't yet played with there. But I'm actually borrowing it off a friend at the moment. So, but now I'll post it in there, mate. It's
cool.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Cool, man. Let's see who else. I think Uncle Bear's on the call, isn't he? I think I saw him pop up.
What's up?
Hey man, what's on your wish list for tools or tech?
You know what I needed the last 2 times I was drilling in a wall is there's like a spade bit that creates holes in wood. You know what I'm talking about?
No. Can you drop a link into the ambassador channel?
Oh,
so it's like a spade bit.
Yeah, like it goes in a drill and it makes circular, like 1 inch, 1.5 big old holes, and you use it to drill out deadbolts sometimes.
Like a paddle bit?
Like a paddle bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. There's a paddle bit that I saw a long time ago, and I haven't looked into it, so I don't have a link or anything. But it was a paddle bit on like a flex type hose, so you could like drop it between 2 sheetrocks and hit like a fire stud. You know how they run fire studs horizontal?
Yeah.
So I got lucky on the last job I was on, and the hole that I put in the wall wasn't far from it, so I just got like a long drill bit, and I could angle up and hit it. but I've seen a paddle bit that they can drop down into the wall and like it's firm enough that you can like stick it into the wood and get it. So I don't know.
Are you talking about a flex bit?
Yeah, like I mean, maybe that's what it's called.
Yeah, I mean they carry those at Home Depot and Lowe's. They're about $60.
How long are they?
They can go up to like 6-8 feet.
Oh yeah,
Or
there
you can
go.
get the flex bits that hold like the bit drivers portion of it too, and they're
Those always scare me because I feel like those are going to come off in the wall. Then it's going to just be a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, this is not what I need. I'm already dealing with this shit. Like now it's going to come off and drop in the wall, and I won't be able to find it.
Is there like a higher end? Is it just like Milwaukee or like what's the brand that pushes
Pretty much any like electricians, like Klein, I'm sure sells one.
Yeah,
Greenlight sells one.
Klein sells them.
Yeah, if you just pretty much get any one of those or like Amazon, I mean, the problem is the way the tool is, it's more than likely going to break eventually, just because you're putting so much strain on that steel, because you're not you're torquing it off, you know, and you're bending it. So I wouldn't invest in like the greatest Cadillac of you know, flex bits. I'd probably go with maybe something, you know, just go to Lowe's and grab one there, and that's probably going to do good. Make sure you get a setter, though. If you don't get a setter, you'll go through the other side of the wall, and that's a bad thing to tell your customer. Just FYI, it's not. I'm just talking not from experience, but from another guy's story I heard.
Yeah.
Where he was in a $4 million house and went through the other side of the drywall and had to patch it. So don't do that.
Okay. Is there a better solution you found?
I mean, that's really the industry standard. I mean, that I've seen. But you can go up or down with them. And I would also, just because, you know, that one guy I was talking about that went through the other side of the wall, he also got a little camera to stick in the wall to double check. So I have one of those to double check to make sure if it's far away. If it's not, you could just, you know, kind of peek in the wall and make sure you're dead on the money. But getting one of those, I think on Amazon, I picked one up for like $90. Throw that in the wall, make sure it's all good before I start drilling. So, but it works incredibly well when you're, you know, when you know what you're doing. It works incredibly bad if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
Yep.
Cool. And there's some links in the Ambassador Slack channel. Bunch of good stuff in there. All right, John, he's still on the call. Jonathan Laurie.
Yes, I'm muted there.
Greetings, sir. Sounds like you're making dinner. What's on your wish list, brother?
A couple of things. Well, one, I need to get a small wall-mounted rack because I'm continuing to build out my Ubiquiti Unify setup here in my home office, and so I want to kind of clean that up in my basement. I do want to get one of those what do you call that, vertical tools, patch panel. Thingamajigs. I can't remember
the eye punch tool that does the keystones. Yeah. So if you attend the meetup in Nashville, I'll make sure that you get one. Sound good? Cool.
Yeah, you said this going to be in January.
I think so. I haven't set a date yet. You know, January is kind of a weird. You know, we got football season and stuff, and we got cold weather and stuff, and I just don't know, man.
I think I'm going to, probably put my my planned Nashville trip to coincide with that. So.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's lock it in. I'll let you know.
We should try to meet up at ISC West too in Vegas.
We should.
Yeah.
I think that'd be. When is that?
I think it's usually in March or April, I believe.
No, it's usually in April.
It's usually, but they change it to March if you're there. I think last year they were saying they were going to change it to March, maybe sooner.
Is there like a free tickets opportunity?
Yeah, it's usually free if you sign up soon enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty awesome show.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
So
that's what I hear.
March 17th, I guess it starts.
Yeah, we could all just meet up there, and since most of us should probably be there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great idea. But yeah, if anybody goes, make sure you get some content, some pictures, and some, do a little meetup there. Be awesome. I'm gonna try to attend. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
And then I also, and Blake, I do want to get a new Mac Pro. it's right now. It's like I'm currently working on, Genetag, ProWatch, OpenPath, S2 Netbox, and I got to have, and my current machine can only hold one virtual machine running at any given time. So if I gotta work on Netbox, I gotta shut down ProWatch and stuff. It would be nice to have a monster server that's not a tiny little laptop that the fan is going about 80,000 RPM.
So why are you getting a Mac? Nothing against Mac. I'm just curious.
Well, for me, it started a couple of years when I was working at Mercury. There was a customer that, Apple was a customer, and they wanted a Mac version of the Mercury API, and so I had to go out and get a Mac, long story. Things, even though I'm an engineer and a tinkerer, I realized that there were only 90 minutes a day that truly belong to me, that don't belong to my customers or my family. And I realized I didn't want to spend those 90 minutes, fiddling around with something that should have worked out of the box. So I realized that it's more expensive, but things tend to just work. And even though I'd like to think I'm more than capable of fixing things that don't work, I got sucked in to the Apple sphere at that point. But then I got a VMware running, like God knows how many Windows images and Linux images underneath that. Sure. But the bare metal machine, I went Mac years ago. And these days, that new cheese grater one, which is absurdly expensive, that would be wonderful to have here. So I'm working on it.
Cool. All right. Anything else on your rather comprehensive wish list?
Time in a bottle. That's about
it. All right, let's jump into the goals. Marco had to jump off. He said he updated stuff. He's rocking and rolling. He's pretty solid. Mark Solent, how's that van coming, dude? Like, is it done?
99%.
99%.
It moved from 95 to 99%.
It was a yes or no question. The answer is no.
The answer is no. But
what's your goal for this week? What's your goal for this week?
To finish it. To finally finish it. Cheap goal.
Finished van. So close.
Yet so far.
The last mile is always the expensive.
No, actually, it's just moving stuff around. It just takes forever.
Finish the van. Cool. Mason, where you at, brother?
LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
I know, right? LinkedIn. I love it. Make sure you make yourself a Low Voltage Nation ambassador. Reap the benefits.
I'll probably text you in wee hours of the night going, I have it set up. What do I do now? I'll be like that old grandpa that calls you and I'm like, how do I get on Facebook?
Dude, I'll talk to you anytime about LinkedIn. I'm so bullish on that. Whatever you want, my friend. Will Hoffman he's cruising around. He's got a lot of wish list stuff. But he's getting a bunch of camera gear, which is cool. He got the Canon M50, got a bunch of lenses, so he's just he's really killing it on the digital media side. But I'm not sure what his goals are. I'll ask him. Kramer, where you at, Kramer? He's not here. I talked to him earlier. Not sure what his deal is though. John, how you doing with your goals? You had some Brevo stuff going on last time, and then what's going on now?
Yeah, getting the ProWatch stuff done. Had a good week. Keeping Honeywell off of my back to some degree. yeah, I'm just just still kind of trying to get out from under this load of work that I oversold. So I've done better in the last week. I did not add to the pile, and I kind of worked off some low hanging fruit. So yeah. I'm getting there. This week I'm just trying to think of another good story on why I'm late on one job, and then and just work out the backlog.
Yeah, I mean, rigorous honesty. Just tell them the truth.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
So your goal for this week is similar to, it's actually exactly matching to Mason, and that's LinkedIn. Actually, you're already on LinkedIn. Just update your profile. You said
John, you got it easy, man.
You said you would.
All right.
And you can call me whenever you need to. What's Pierce up to? Pierce has been like hanging out with like family and stuff, I guess. Has anybody talked to Pierce?
I haven't heard anything from him, but
Cool.
I haven't really reached out to him either.
Cool. I reached out to CTS. They are, I don't know what they're doing. They didn't respond, so I guess they don't
Buying more vans.
Buying more vans, expanding into Central America. I don't know. Uncle Bear, Chris, what are your goals for this week?
Yeah, so the company that I work for, we're pretty busy at the end of the year. It's kind of like wrap it all up so that we get paid. So there's a lot of preventative maintenance checks that I'm going to have to do for our clients and a couple of projects that need to get wrapped up. But other than that, probably I'm working on a little bit of content that I can pick back up a podcast near the end of the year or start of the first. So
security podcasts.
Security Today.
Security Today. Yeah. If so, everybody on the ambassador team, make sure you're following that and check out his stuff. But you're going to post some more content next year or this year, or what'd you say?
I'm taking a different approach to it. It used to be do it, record it, put it out. But now I'm kind of preloading 2 or 3 episodes. And then, so once I get a couple in the bag, I'll start pushing them out. But so, yeah, probably the end of this year, the beginning of next, somewhere around there.
Cool. And also, actually, tomorrow we're supposed to have a podcast with Brent White and Tim Roberts. They're the physical security pen tester guys.
Oh yeah.
They do a lot of like DEF CON stuff, and they travel around and they have a full-time job, but they also do part-time side business physical security pen testing. So I sent a little note out on LinkedIn and I tagged you in it, just kind of introduce you to Brent White. So check your LinkedIn and see if you can see that tag and kind of connect with them. And then he said tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. I'm not sure if I can do it, but I'll figure something out and I'll let you know. But I want you to be on it, just kind of hang out at least, or just kind of introduce you to those guys. They're pretty cool.
For sure, man. After that podcast that we had and you were talking about that, I kind of went back and started rereading this book called Social Engineering.
Yeah, and I think I've read that. Is that the Kevin Mitnick one, or which one is that?
No, hold on, I'll bring it up. But I was listening to a couple podcasts on like, there's this social engineering convention they have called SE Village.
Okay.
And they had this guy on there. His name's Joe Navarro, and he's like a 25-year veteran of the FBI, and his job in the FBI was to catch spies. And he's like this expert in body language. And I listened to a couple of his talks on YouTube, and that is some cool stuff, man. Being able to like, because the employee and the human element of every security system is the weakest element.
Exactly. So, I love it. Yep.
No, it was Social Engineering, the Art of Human Hacking.
Okay. Yeah.
By Paul Wilson.
Okay. Yeah. I'm familiar. I think I've read that book, but I'm definitely familiar with it.
Yeah. So.
And also,
let me know.
Yeah, I will, and look into if you're into like social engineering, look into the social engineer toolkit. I've done some videos on this, but the guy who wrote this, Dave Kennedy, he's basically like a partner of ours, and he's the founder of Trusted Sec, and also Brent White, the guy that we'll be on a podcast with. He
Sure.
used to work for Trusted Sec, but he lives in Nashville. But Trusted Sec's out of Northeast Ohio. But just do some research on Trusted Sec. I think you'll really dig like what they're doing on the physical security side and information security side.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Word. Cool. Raymond, what's going on with you were trying to find some good partners for like your hardware stack and what you're going to offer to customers. Did you happen to figure some stuff out, or?
Yeah, me and Marco have been talking about Eagle Eye Networks for
cool, man.
security. So he's going to be putting me in touch with someone tomorrow. You got to send him a reminder. I mean, I've been in touch with them, but I just haven't had the time to do the little webinar.
Sure.
And Pro Data Key, I know Eagle Eye works well with Brevo, but Pro Data Key I've heard a lot of good stuff about, and I was in touch with them too. So, I mean, we do a lot of alarm.com, and I love them, but just a little bit of more of the commercial side of stuff. We want to get a handle on it going into the new year. So Marco was nice enough to reach out and tell me he's got some good connects at Eagle Eye, and he really raves about him. So I'm excited to hear about them this week.
Cool. So that's kind of your goal, is to move forward with finding those partners on the more the commercial side.
Yeah, because we got this retail. We do retail stores, and we also have one retail store is interested in doing like nationwide alarms. So we're trying to figure out the best panel for them. I mean, I really like. We worked with a lot of panels throughout the years, but lately the Quals's are just an attractive panel. But we've been bumping into putting the panel on the back cover, and that's a little annoying. And to roll out a nationwide install with that particular panel is a little scary if it doesn't snap in.
Right.
So I don't know. I've been talking to the rep, and it's really crazy how difficult it is to put that little panel on the back cover. So just little weekly goals on trying to figure out these little things before we go into the new year and push hard.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Mick, what's your status? What you got for this week for your goals?
All right, still it?
Yep.
Yeah. The alarm job, I'm sure I will get that done this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been on my to-do list for a few weeks now. Yeah, it's got to steal that one, the alarm job for a friend. So yeah, a Bosch alarm. If there's any Bosch alarm experts in here, may reach out.
Bosch alarms. I've come across them, but I don't know. I think Marco might know some stuff about them. Does anybody else know about Bosch?
I do a little bit, Blake. I did the Bosch integration to Open Options DNA Fusion product.
Okay, great. Yeah, if I get stuck, I might post a few questions.
Sure.
Cool.
Great, thanks.
And what about your content strategy and your daily run sheet? How's that coming?
Yeah, really good. Still, actually, a couple of days towards the end of last week, I was a bit under the weather, so I found myself not posting as often. So
yeah, it happens.
But I try and hit the 3 a day, but you know, if I only hit maybe 2 a day, then I'll try and make it up the next day. But I'm pretty fortunate that there seems to be always. I mean, I'm on the lookout for things to post.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually did a few sort of photo ones last week, so maybe when I'm in a better mood, I sort of do more video type ones. But maybe might be a good judge looking back on how the year's going. Yeah, good way to judge how I've been. No, that's still working well, mate. Still,
good.
I'm actually getting some. I'm not sure if any other guys have experienced this, but getting a bit of, or some options to do some work through social now too. I've had a few people reach out. To do the odd job here and there. So it's been great.
That's good. What about TikTok? Have you figured that platform out yet?
I've actually dropped back a little bit off TikTok. Which is probably a good thing. I've probably realised that some of the posts aren't meant for TikTok, so I've
Sure.
stopped dropping them on there. But that's Look, I'm not going to give up on TikTok. I'll fully trust Gary V when he says something like it's worth pursuing. But nah, probably have to have a separate TikTok strategy. But I think maybe something I might have to have a bit of fun with it. But yeah, that might be another thing I can jot down on my daily run sheet, make a fun TikTok. But without embarrassing my kids.
It's a slippery slope on that one.
It is. My daughter doesn't follow me; she's too cool. But
are you serious?
Yeah. Oh no, it's she's a 10-year-old son. He's mentioned to me a couple of times that the things I'm putting on are pretty cool. But until I do something funny or to do with a dance, my daughter won't. She won't be following the boring tech stuff that I've been putting on.
It's funny, man. Cool. Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Jacob, what's your status on I guess I've been talking to you in a while, but what's your status on your goals for this week?
So I have a few goals this week. One is I have a performance review to do for one of my team members. And then I was actually talking with Marco last week about excuse me, about the Wattbox and a few other Cisco things to try to help do more remote troubleshooting. So I'm still just kind of poking around with that. I'm gonna order some product and test it out. Those are my two mains. Oh, and we just got slammed with a bunch of stuff towards end of last week. It was looking like December was just going to be slow and steady and just finish out the year, but then all these people signed in jobs, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining. People signed over little smaller projects, 4 or 5 door access control projects, and said, we need it done before the end of the year. So it's going to be a matter of getting all that scheduled out, order parts, all that jazz. So it's
cool.
into a busy week, which is nice.
Yep, that's good. And what was the thing you talked to Marco about? I kind of missed that.
I had posted a while back, probably 2 weeks ago, to see if it was, a viable idea to, just for a simple access control install, let's say a 4 or 5 door panel. We do a lot of commercial where it's multi-tenant, and so we do it for the property management or the building owner. So my original question was, is there a viable product out there that we can use, if for some reason the panel is not communicating or they can't get into the panel, what can I do remotely before running a truck out to try to reboot that panel? And Marco pointed me in the right path of, Snap AV makes the watt box that you can program to set up, if it's not pinging the IP address you need it to ping, then it'll reboot that. Or, he talked to me about a few different options. So I'm still, I was out for 4 days last week, and then the weekend before I was out for that too. So I'm just now getting back into the swing of things. So that's gonna be my goal this week, to get that.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I heard him say Wattbox at one point. That's kind of part of his hardware stack for access control. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, wait. A thing that supplies power, but you can actually do remote rebooting. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, so it's through Snap AV's platform. So you go, I'm assuming, I have not looked into it, so I'm probably getting this all wrong. But the way he described it to me is, let's just say you have a watt box with 4 power ports on it, and you hook it into the network, and it talks back to Snap AV's platform. You can then log into Snap AV's platform, and he said that, let's just say you want it to always be able to ping the Brevo server, right? Well, if for some reason it cannot talk to Brevo server, you can have it reboot your device, or one device, or 2 devices, or whatever.
Yep.
Reboot the internet, or reboot your Brevo panel, or something like that. It's pretty slick. So, or if you've got something like we do a lot of Pro Data Key. So if for some reason they push an update, and this doesn't happen near as much as it used to. I had it happen once 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had it happen in 8 or 10 months. So sometimes when they push an update, I mean, if you're not familiar with PDK, their cloud node is based on a Raspberry Pi module. So when they push an update, obviously it reboots, but every now and then it'll get hung up, and it just literally needs a power cycle. So we have to roll a truck out, and we have to pull the battery, power it down, power it back up, and then power everything back up, which is super annoying, as y'all can imagine. So that was my goal, is to what can I do to remotely reboot that and troubleshoot it before I roll a truck out. So
just the thought, all of like the packs and stuff we put in is all PoE powered. So if we have an issue, we just get onto our Ubiquity switch remotely and just power cycle it if we're having an issue with it. I mean, we've never have, but I don't know, just an idea. And maybe I'm just completely off base here on what you're talking about. But
no, Marco was talking to me about that as well. He was he's a Cisco guy, so he was talking to me about some Cisco stuff. But I was familiar with the Ubiquity platform was able to do that as well.
Yeah. I looked at the watt boxes. We haven't put them in because we just haven't had a need for that. But I think that's a great solution. The only thing for me is just trying to find products where that just doesn't happen in the first place. But I told to get that it's an issue. I mean, we like Unify Video was the same way, but then if you power cycled it, it would brick the database, which is then another huge problem. So
that's not good.
Yeah.
But don't those PDK, the single door IOs and the cloud nodes, they take direct power, right? So you can power if you're doing like a wet contact off it.
Yeah. So you can do a wet contact off of the cloud nodes and the singles, but it's a dry contact out of the 8IO. Well, no, I take that back. I think you can get a wet contact out of the 8-door controller too.
So is there
I typically don't. I usually use an Ultronics power supply.
Right. That's what I use too. And is there like a power supply? And I'm just poking. This is curious, but is there a power supply that you can remotely cycle?
The only thing that's what I was originally looking for is, I know I saw Ultronics has a power supply that you can have like a link controller or something like that to it, where you can remotely reboot it, or I don't know if you can power cycle a port or what you can do. I have not looked. This is literally this conversation is as far as I've gotten into it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was my original way to go with it, because I was like, man, if I can run everything cloud node, door controllers, everything off of one power supply,
right. Or even plug the Ultronics can into it before it hits 120, and then just be able to remotely touch that. You could power cycle the whole system.
Yeah, because I pretty much always use a Ultronics power supply. I mean, granted, now if we're doing like 1 or 2 doors and it's electric strikes, we have, mechanical means of egress. I don't. I'll run it, cost effective. But if I have pretty much 4 doors or more, I'm running it through an Ultronics power supply.
Sure.
Just because it's easier. But that's a good way to do it too. That was kind of what I was originally wanting. Is like, is there a power supply that I can use, run the battery backup off the power supply, versus the cloud node and all the single door controllers, because they all take their own battery backup, but I can run it off the power supply anyway.
Doesn't Ultronics have a power something remotely? I could have swore I saw it on their website where you can hook up a module
Link,
to
LINQ or something like that.
Yeah, and it allows you to do some remote management. I never really got looked into it very much because I've really just never seen it besides, looking at it briefly.
Blake's pulling it up right now. It looks like
It looked fairly promising for some applications, but I feel like you'd have to get those modules and really kind of sit down and play with it and figure out if it's a good solution.
Yeah, and plus you're relying on, like, a lot of our clients where they're multi-tenant is they literally just have like Spectrum or AT&T come in and they put in their little router and that's it. So there's no network platform to get into. So let's just say that for some reason that goes offline. Then what do? You have to roll a truck.
Yeah.
So Marco, that's where the Snap AV thing came into the watt box, Marco said that you could have it constantly ping like once an hour. Let's say that it pings Google's IP address, and if for some reason it can't get Google, it's going to reboot everything, and or reboot whatever you tell it to, and then try it again, and then it, we'll know whether we need to roll a truck out. So
Interesting.
I mean, I guess it's going to depend on one, budget, obviously, and
Right.
two, customer needs. So
And those watt boxes aren't expensive though. When I was
No.
looking at them, I think it was like $90 or $100
yeah,
for a
like
little
a 4 port
two-port
or
thing.
something.
Yeah, two
yeah.
or 4-port. Yeah,
They're pretty cost effective.
yeah.
So
Yeah, guys, there's these guys I follow. I got some buddies there. AA Custom. They're on Instagram too. They do pretty good AV work, and they use a lot of the watt boxes. We're doing a house with them right now in San Francisco, and their whole rack is Control 4, and he uses a lot of watt box, and he swears by it. He goes, it's just easier. You could power cycle something that goes down rather than rolling out a truck, and he uses them on pretty much all of his recent racks, and he gets them through Snap AV, and he always tells.
See, I'm not pointing fingers at any bad hardware or anything like that. I'm just saying, for those instances, it always happens.
Yeah.
Something's hung up somewhere, or if you have a camera system, you can reboot a camera through a PoE switch. But like I said, in the event that you don't have a network infrastructure, you have literally just a Spectrum router there. Then what do you do? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just
So where does that watt box go physically, in line of everything?
you plug all your devices into the watt box, and then your watt box into the wall.
Okay.
And they make different styles. They make rack mount. They make side rail mount. They make like wall mount stuff. So they have different options.
Supposedly it was developed by Snap AV, so it is their product, and the platform for it is on their website or through them. So it's not like you remote directly into it; it's through their platform, I think.
Does it cost a monthly?
I have no idea. That's a Marco question, or I'll hopefully, if I get all my research done by the end of this week, I'll tell you next week.
Yeah, for sure. Or just throw it up in Slack.
Yeah.
I talked to them last year, and if memory serves me right, I don't think there was a charge, or if there was a charge, it was you pay monthly for the whole platform, but it's not based on how many devices you have. I could be completely wrong, but it was either one of those. And I think it could depend on if you were just like a single use user or if you were a company kind of having them throughout. But I can't remember exactly.
I'll shoot an email to my Snap AV rep tomorrow, and then once we get a demo or more information, I'll post it up and let you guys know.
Right on. I appreciate that.
Cool. Blake, are you back? Maybe.
Blake's like Pierce. Can't talk.
Gone.
Maybe that's why you can't hear me, because I'm on mute.
Man, I'm done.
Thanks for holding down the fort, guys. Sorry about that. Brandon, you're up. What's on your goals?
So I got to head back to that funeral home Wednesday to go live on 3CX as long as all their numbers port correctly. I got a couple NAS deployments coming up. You and I need to discuss the MSP series more and figure all that out. And then as we looked at and discussed on Friday, the website, because it's it needs to get done.
Yeah, it served its purpose, sort of.
Yeah,
it's there. What was the second item? I missed that.
I got a couple NAS deployments that I gotta take care of this week.
Nest or NAS?
NAS, NAS.
Like network attached storage.
Yep.
Cool. What are you using for your NAS?
Synology.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a nice, with the new software package, you can actually do image backups of servers and client machines now too. So I got one coming into a garden factory that will put StorageCraft in to back up to the NAS, and then a couple of the client machines will use Synology to back up their machines.
Do you think Chris Tiffany would want to get on the MSP series, kind of jam out for a little bit to do the kickoff?
Yeah, I think he would. It's just, finding him and getting free time for him to do it.
Pull him away from the Facebook groups for a little bit.
Yeah.
and his full-time job.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, if you have anybody else in mind that runs an MSP or works for an MSP, or we can just kick it off, you and me. But
yeah,
I'm really excited about this MSP series.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to hop on from the MSP side, let us know. And so Mason's got to go. So he says, "Hey guys, I got to go." Okay, bye, Mason. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, I think I might talk to one of the guys that helped me at that Honda dealership I was telling you about, the one that actually lasted through the whole entire job. See if he wants to jump on.
Yeah, it's a trooper for sure.
Yeah,
he's LVM material, gold standard.
He is.
Baby.
He very.
I love it. It's awesome. Cool. What else? Is that it?
That is it for right now. I mean, who knows what Monday's going to bring?
Yeah, exactly. But all right. Steve Van Horn. I don't know if he added his stuff, but I'll follow up with him. Cool. I think that's it, guys. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about, get off their chest? If not, we're going to wrap it up. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody attending. This has been another epic adventure and meeting. So for me, it was really beneficial, but y'all keep getting after it. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Blake.
Yep. Bye.